WeSkoolhouse is made for children, but designed for you. We empower teachers and parents of children ages 0 to 6 with research-backed resources, trainings, and professional development. With a WeSkoolhouse membership, access our complete library of hundreds of early childhood resources created to support your work with children every day. This library is ever growing, with new content added monthly. You'll enjoy unlimited access to resources on topics such as brain and body development and concepts of play, setting up your learning environment, how to best navigate and support social and emotional growth and learning, and common but sometimes challenging behaviors, nutrition and feeding, sleep, toileting, and physical care, and fostering stronger partnerships between families, teachers, co-teachers, and school administration. For example, in the Curriculum and Learning Design module, get access to schedule guidance for the home and classroom, and download ready-made and flexible learning investigations that will help streamline your planning and implementation of curriculum. You'll also find insights on different progressive learning models and tools for observation and documentation. In our Invitations and Activities module, you'll find learning packets of all different themes, such as investigations in water play, lights and shadows, literacy, and STEAM. Each packet includes an introduction to the study or area of learning, loads of guidance on how to support it, and investigations and provocations to inspire and spark curiosity, wonder, and learning. Deepen your understanding of knowledge of early childhood with flexible training options led by early childhood experts, and show off your learning with professional development certification included in each membership. Individual memberships can be purchased on a monthly plan, or save by registering for an annual plan. School memberships are our most heavily discounted and cover membership for your entire team of educators. Your membership pays for itself with professional learning and certification, and professional learning empowers staff, meaningfully enhancing their practice and impacting the children and improving teacher retention. With the WeSkoolhouse membership, save time and feel prepared. No more last-minute planning or overwhelm. Access ready-to-use guides, activities, and schedules made for real-life classrooms and homes. And feel confident, backed by research. Our tools are rooted in brain science and best practice, so you know that what you're doing is actually helping the children grow. Sign up today with a 14-day money-back guarantee and the freedom to cancel at any time.
Thank you, Sonal. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for joining in. My name is Malavika, and we'll just start with a basic introduction while all people are joining in and settling down. I'm the host for the evening, and thank you once again for being a part of this webinar, this workshop, and making it immense success. I represent a company called India Market Entry. I have my colleague Ayan and Vivek who would be taking care of the chat, and they would lead the marketing bit of it. And of course, we have Sonal, our speaker for the evening, and there are a lot of information that we would be sharing with you. There are a lot of, I would say, you can resonate with your current profession, that if you're a teacher, you're an educator, and we'll try to make it as interactive possible for you. And I promise by end of the session, you will learn a lot, which you can take back and you can incorporate effective tomorrow if you're a teacher in the classroom. So this is a natural training initiative that we do, and this is hosted and taken care by the natural trainings. I will start with a small presentation, and then we will take you on a tour of how the platform looks like, a lot of information that you need to know, and of course, you'll get to know a lot about Reggio this evening. We do have a special, offers, a lot of surprises, which we have planned for all of you, all the special guests this evening. So please do stay tuned. And of course, it is just before we kickstart, just would like to let you know, this is a certified training program. So everybody who is joining in, you are eligible for a certification. So before delaying further, while people are still joining in, let's start with a basic introduction about Reggio Emilia transforming early childhood education. This is powered by WeSkoolhouse in association with Northrop Training. Now, what is WeSkoolhouse? Let's start with a basic understanding of this. So WeSkoolhouse, the parent company, is called as Manhattan Preschool Chain. They are based out of Manhattan in US, and they're doing really well for themselves for many years now. Now, WeSkoolhouse, when they actually started their SaaS-based platform, so SaaS-based is basically like any of your, say, Netflix or Amazon Prime, whatever you use, wherein you can just type in your username and password. That's a SaaS-based platform. So just to simplify in a layman's term. Now, when Manhattan Preschool Chain started their SaaS-based platform, they renamed it as WeSkoolhouse. The entire platform is based on Reggio. It is inspired on Reggio. Now, people obviously who do not know or never had an exposure and understanding about what Reggio is, we will talk about it elaborately, which will be a lot of for you to, kind of take in one session. So what is the key features of WeSkoolhouse? So WeSkoolhouse is a platform. We have divided the entire platform into two-parter. One is purely focused on training, upskilling yourself. If you're a teacher, educator, you're a parent, you are a reseller, you're a distributor, you're into publishing, you're into early childhood specialization, you're doing your B.Ed, regardless of whatever education background that you come from, these trainings are very, very handy, and it actually gives you a lot of insight about things that we do not practice in India at the moment. And this is a global recognized platform. And what we have done and what we have got is one part is in the training and the other part is the curriculum. We will talk about this elaborately while we actually move on towards our end of our call. So let's start understanding the features about WeSchool. WeSchool has more than 500 plus activities that we have designed for all the teachers, educators. Now, there are two kind of activities what we have. One is bite sizes and one is like an elaborative one. So you can have a theme-based activities that you can run for your students, or bite sizes like small activities that we have designed. It is NEP 2020 aligned, so people who are well versed what NEP 2020 talks about in the early childhood education, WeSkoolhouse, or I would say the entire concept, is taken care, keeping NEP 2020 in mind. We have teacher certification and training, as I said, so certification training is a very, very critical area that we address. And of course, we have tons of classroom setup. So if you are an edupreneur, you are a teacher, you want to start your preschool, you want to start your daycare, if you want to start your activity centers related to the early childhood or the early children, that age group as early as 0 years to 6 years is what you are taking care. That is what your target audience is. This is meant for you. Moving on to the next slide. What we are going to talk about now. You guys are teachers, you guys are educators. Although we don't know, I'm assuming most of the people who have joined in today in the session are coming from an education background. So people just giving a little bit of a history, how typical education system started, and it evolved over a period of time. So in 1800s, it was absolute traditional teaching, what teachers used to follow. And I think somewhere in Indian education, we still are very much, kind of love those traditional methods and we would love to practice it. So it was always a teacher-centered approach. It was focused on discipline and memorization. Rote learning was the key. Again, there are a lot of schools still feels this is a good practice. I won't say it's a bad practice, but again, with over a period of time, how we have explored, we have, kind of moved on to the journey. So in 1900s earlys, it was more on child development research. It was more on recognition of plain learning. And I'm precisely talking about early childhood education. And then again, in the midst, multiple intelligence, brain development research kicked in. That is when things started changing. That is the thing when we started paying attention to the early years, which were, as simple as, so in India, we never had I would say, concept of preschooling. Our school was our home because we were into a joint family. We used to learn from our parents, from the siblings, from, so many relatives coming up and down. So there was a lot of, I would say, socio-based learning, which was taken care, and still in the rural part of India, people are still kind of practicing it. Unlike in metros and cosmos, wherein most of the families are, just solo with just one child, do not have that much of exposure. However, with today's approach, what has changed drastically that we all witness, and I'm sure you do too, which is a lot of involvement of neuroscience. So most of the pedagogies are, I would say, well researched, science backed, and neuroscience is something which is a most critical part that has become. Over the period of time, what research says that a child's brain, the development happens 90% of the development happens before even they turn 6. So that's a very critical years that we are talking about. What kind of a person it would be, how the child will grow up to be as a confident, as an underconfident, a bold person, a brave person, a timid person, all kind of this science starts actually building up when they kick into a preschool age. And of course, child is a protagonist is what we are looking and focusing in today's education policy, basically. We'll have a couple of polls for us to understand more and actually customize the entire presentation, the workshop based on who you are. So this is the first quick poll that we are launching. I'm sure you would be able to see on your screen. So where are you in your teaching journey? We would love to know that if you're following your traditional methods, if you're transitioning to a new approaches, you're still exploring child-led learning, already implementing changes, or looking for changes. Now, this is a beautiful, I would say, method to identify and understand where exactly currently, what is your role, how much you know about early childhood education, what are the methods that you're practicing in your classroom, what are the feedbacks that you receive. We would love to know it all. And I request all of you to actively participate. We have more than 90, almost 100 people who are part of this call at the moment. And I see less than 50% have participated. Request all of you to actively participate so we can customize based on the people who are a part of this call this evening. And we will be focusing and trying to tackle, and I would address, which is based on your current profession. So I'll just give it a couple of seconds in here. I request all of you to actively participate. Hopefully everybody is able to see the poll, and I'm waiting for some more people to kind of participate. It's only 50% who have answered the poll so far. Yeah, some more participation, please. So where are you in your teaching journey is what is the question, and you can see the options on your screen and you can select it. Okay, here you go. Now, what we have, I'll just end the poll, and we have a very, I would say, a mixed bag of approaches, what we have seen as a result, which is exploring child-led learning and already implementing the changes are the winners for the evening at the moment. So obviously you are already into the journey wherein you already explore it, you have already exploring, or you're still exploring more and more changes that you can implement on a real-time basis. Now moving on to the next part of the presentation. Just give me one moment. Here you go. Now, what is it in modern education philosophies? Now, you guys are teachers, you guys are edupreneurs, and this is, I'm sure you already been practicing one of the type of pedagogies. A lot of people also have a mixed bag of, process that they're currently practicing. But Montessori is something which people know, heard of. Even if you have not been to preschool, but if your kids have, you still know how Montessori functions in India. So what Maria Montessori actually offers and how they have designed the curriculum is really world apart what we actually do in India. However, it is pretty much aligned to the traditional methods of teaching and, doing the day-to-day activities in a classroom, wherein it takes care of the structured independence. It takes care of the prepared environment, and individual progress is one of the key focus areas for Montessori. People who are actually pursuing Waldorf in their classroom, it has an holistic development, artistic expressions, and nature is, I think, one of the key factors which Waldorf focuses on always. Now, what's Reggio? So Reggio is something that obviously you will learn elaborately throughout this entire evening, and what the major key areas and what is the USP of Reggio is child as a protagonist, environment as a teacher, and documentation based. Personally, documentation is what my favorite is, because I have learned from, or I have done my early education or my childhood has spent throughout based on the results, the report cards. It shows from where I was and what is the progress that I've made. And that's why they are used to call as progress report. Reggio is very, very focused, and they've pretty much, I would say, every step of a child is being monitored and being tracked well, wherein you can compare. It not only helps lifetime, documentation, but of course, you keeping a track of their regular progress. A quick poll in here again, which my colleague has just launched, which is which approaches interest you most? Montessori elements, Waldorf aspects, Reggio Emilia principles, blended approach, and traditional method. So if you have, been exposed to any of the above, I would love to know what was your experience and what is most interesting and what actually gives you the, I would say, to learn more to you, because everybody who is part of this, you want to learn more, you want to know more what's going on, what's in the trend. So thank you so much for your curiosity. I see a lot of people answering as blended approach being one of the current practice that they're running in their classroom. Okay, very few of Waldorf, hardly any, 0% of traditional methods. Reggio also doing well for themselves. And all right, great. I do see some more polls, some more votes coming in. All right, we can stop it here. Now, so the clear winner is blended approach. Blended approach is, just a moment. Yep. And can stop sharing. I'm not able to lock it out. Okay, thanks. Now, just a moment. Technical glitches. Okay. So what is it that we will cover today? This is very important, and please do pay attention to every bit of it from here on. Understanding Reggio Emilia, practical implementation, and transformation pathway. There's a lot to learn, there's a lot to cover. So please pay attention to every bit. And I can promise you that there'll be a lot to learn for you this evening. We have really worked hard. Especially Sonal has done a lot of hard work and put up a research, which she will talk about in just about few seconds. So introducing our speaker of the evening. Thank you so much, Sonal, for being, a part of this entire workshop. She comes with immense 20 plus of experience into early childhood development, curriculum developer. She's a teacher, she's a mother, she's an amazing person above all, wherein she loves to help, educate, and enlighten people. So here we go. Before delaying further, Sonal, it's over to you now. You can start with your presentation, and then we can talk and connect later. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Malavika.
Welcome.
A very good evening, one and all. So first of all, I'm glad to see so many educators over here looking forward to learn about Reggio Emilia. So let's get started. Today, we are going to talk on play-based STEAM education in a Reggio Emilia context, fostering the 100 languages through inquiry, exploration, and design. Hi, I'm Sonal Pawaiya. I'm a curriculum developer and a trainer for the evening. So before we deep dive, I want you to visualize a moment in your classroom this week when a child was deeply engrossed in an activity. I want you to share that activity in the chat box. Visualize that moment. Just peep out in your classroom when your child was deeply engrossed in an activity. That can be stacking rocks, building blocks, mixing paints. Which activity you are visualizing right now? I want that intense focus to be shared with me before starting. Painting, fantastic. Thank you so much, Pushpanjali ma'am, for sharing us. Building blocks, Kavita ma'am is saying, yeah, building blocks, playing with blocks, drawing, gardening, superb. Yes, Sushma ma'am says dancing so well. Fantastic. Imaginary drawing, play, water play, tracing letters and play, freehand pasting, puzzles. Kudos. Thank you so much for sharing your visualization. Yeah, it's keep on coming, coloring, sticking flowers on craft, clay modeling. Fantastic. That was really commendable and really gave me a push that we all are ready for this learning. So today we are going to talk about how to capture that natural curiosity and turn it into intentional cross-disciplinary learning. Yes, when I say Reggio Emilia, the showman behind this is none other than child psychologist and early childhood educator Loris Malaguzzi. He rethink and rebuild the education system of early childhood education with a vision to foster the creativity and nurture the foundation of the future learning. Yes, and today we are going to focus with the blending approach of Reggio Emilia with STEAM. Reggio approach, yes, this philosophy, when I'm saying about Reggio Emilia, we know it is the name of a place in Italy. And this curriculum was developed by Loris Malaguzzi and the educators with the parents so that the children come up with their creativity and show their full potential. So before starting, as I was just going through the poll and I came to know that most of us are following Reggio Emilia philosophy. I would like to have answer from all of you that what this C4 plus ED means when we are talking about Reggio philosophy. I will be sharing the answer with you all, but I just want to know what is C4 plus ED philosophy behind Reggio Emilia. Waiting for your answers. C4 plus ED. Okay, we got Sonia ma'am, no idea. Thank you for giving me a fair, whatever was in your mind. Others, C4 plus ED. Okay. Okay, no worries. So most of us, I am just getting that child-centric and creative, fantastic. Yeah, iPhone, please give your name. I want to know that who is aware of that. Okay, school program, creative, collaborative, child-centric, fantastic, good. Okay, thank you, Priyanka ma'am, for sharing with me child-centric and creative. Yes, the curriculum, 1C is curriculum, which is child-centric curriculum it is. And one answer I got from Chandni ma'am, collaborative. Fantastic, I got it now. Okay, widely used 21st century learning framework, somebody have shared. Yeah, these C4s are critical thinking, creativity, collaboration, communication. Okay, it's about thinking and exploration. Fantastic. Now, I would like to share with you what are this C4 plus ED. The first C stands for image of a child. Yes, image of a child. Children are full of potential. They are capable, they are creative, they are competent, and moreover, they are active learners. So the first C stands for child, image of a child. Okay, from C4ED, the first C stands for child. Second C stands for us teachers as co-learners. As a teachers, we should always honor children's perspective. We must be open for learning. That mindset we should develop. Third, we should value the unique insight of children. We should be responsive and attentive. The third C is the emergent curriculum. As Priyanka ma'am shared with us, it is a child-centric curriculum, very flexible curriculum it is. This curriculum is not only actively engaging the children, but it is tailored as per the child. Yes, here the curriculum says that children are explorers, researchers, and they are designers. The fourth C is collaboration and the community, where the learning happens beyond the classroom. And moreover, it is an enriching learning, we can say experience is provided to the children. So the four C's: first, child; second, teachers as co-learners; third is emergent curriculum; fourth is collaboration and the community. E stands for environment. Yes, environment is the third teacher, and we offer children open-ended material.
Sonal, you there? And I think she's just trying to reconnect. Just give me a moment. All right, she'll be rejoining in. Emotional development in early childhood setting. Yes, Sonal.
Yeah, I'm
Lost
extremely
you.
sorry. It was a technical glitch.
Sure, no worries.
Okay, so here we go. I hope my screen is visible to all of us.
Yes, yes.
Perfect. So quickly, I will just revise it. C4 plus ED. The four C's, the first is child. Second C is teachers as co-learners. Third C is emergent curriculum. And the fourth C is collaboration and the community. E stands for the environment as the third teacher. And last but not the least, documentation. So documentations can be done through photographs, can be done through portfolios, they can be done by anecdotal notes. So this is a philosophy of Reggio Emilia. Now, most important thing, what we are going to learn today, we are going to blend it with STEAM. STEAM, it is this 5 principle integrated, that is science, S for science, T for technology, E for engineering, A, the most important, arts, and M stands for math. Arts plays an important role because STEM become STEAM by adding arts to that. Okay, so and everything when I'm talking about STEAM, it is driven by inquiries and design. It's pre-planned. So here today we are going to talk merging the Reggio Emilia with STEAM. It will create an ethos. Why? Because it is not only going to uplift the curriculum, but also increase the standard of day by day children experiential learning with this blend. Okay, so the synergy is very beautiful when we are blending this to curriculum. Now, let me give an example to you all. These are theoretical. Now, when we are saying blending, so we have our learning corners, right? So after learning corners, when we start, we want to change the activity. What we do, we ask the children, it's time to put toys away, toys away, toys away. It's time to put toys away. We have other things to do. Now, if my activity was children were playing with blocks, and I want to do the next activity as math. So what we are going to have, it's time to put blocks away, blocks away. We have math to do. Now here we are going, as we are teaching children Reggio Emilia with STEAM. So what is going to happen here? We are not going to stop there, block play right there. Why? Because children are exploring geometry, balance, and engineering. So never stop the children play. In that case, we as a teachers, co-learners, we must recognize and evaluate that STEAM is already happening in their play. With blocks, I can teach them counting. With blocks, I can teach them addition. Whatever my concept is there, right? So everything is correlated in STEAM. So STEAM says that whatever the children are doing, we have so many phases of that. That is science, technology, engineering, art, and math. Through that activity, we can teach our children. So let's see more examples of this. Now, the child as a researcher. Yes, when I'm saying child as a researcher. So let's see, here is an example for you all. As we are able to see, there is a picture where children are playing, building a ramp for toy cars. Okay. So first, the most important thing is to have an essential question when I want to teach children, because we know children are researchers, right? So the first thing, always a teacher must be ready with the essential question, that why I'm teaching this or why I'm having this activity. So in this case, my essential question was that today I want to teach children friction, about friction. Okay. So here, children will notice what? That is going to be my essential question. Now, first thing, what we are going to do, we are going to provide children with materials, as the materials must be placed at the child's level. Materials like stiff, hardbound we can have different type of clothes, towels, fabrics. We can provide different blocks for increasing the height of the ramp. We can provide a sand tray, a water bowl. Okay, various material, open-ended material must be placed at the child level. Now, let children investigate. Okay, so now ramp is prepared. Children started playing with the toy car. Don't step in that, because you might have observed that here what is happening? Children, what is happening over here? That children are experiencing the car is running too fast and it is getting crushed. Okay. So instead of fixing that, let them research. Research by what? There are various material placed at the child's level, right? They might take different towel, or they might reduce the ramp height, okay, make it incline, or child might keep a bowl of sand at the bottom. So different practices can be adapted by the children. Just we need to observe that, because children hypothesis, they predict different experimentation and explorations are done by the children. Let them test and iterate the same practice. Next step. And what we are going to do now, our role, the question which we have asked in the starting, we are going to ask it to the children. Why do you think the car was running too fast? Or why do you think the car slowed down when you have placed the towel? Why do you think the car slowed down at the end where you have placed the sand tray? Whatever the children comes up, that dialogue you need to document. And if this happens, it is not sure, because when I'm blending Reggio Emilia with STEAM, what is happening? Everything is unpredictable. We are not dedicated to the end result. Here, whatever the children are doing, we are going to jot down that. And if it is not as per our expectation, again, throw them a question. The provoking question comes again here after documentation, because you want them to teach friction and how the friction was happening. At this point, again, the next question will be coming to the child. Yes. Now, I have talked so many things about blending Reggio Emilia and STEAM, but before that, let us understand that what is the difference between both of these philosophies. Here, the aspect, our teaching approach. Now, when I am teaching STEAM, as I told you, STEAM is science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. So when these all 5 principles coming together, the curriculum is teacher-directed lessons are there, concept-driven before practice. Now, when we are blending it, here the curriculum changes with inquiry co-constructed through play. Concept emerge from exploration. Okay, so both that things are different. The first practice STEAM is teacher-led, while here Reggio Emilia inspired STEAM is inquiry co-constructed through play. Second thing, curriculum structure. Here in STEAM, everything is pre-planned, that what I am going to do, what activities, and what is going to be my result. But Reggio Emilia, it's an emergent curriculum. Here, everything goes as per the child interest. As we saw the last example where they were playing with the car and the ramp. Okay, so children might have used towel, they might have used water bowls, they might have used sand tray, or they might have reduced the height by removing the blocks. So everything depends on as per the child's interest. Third, materials and environment. In STEAM, everything is fixed. We have a fixed kits, predefined task, worksheets are there. But in Reggio, we don't use worksheets. We use loose part, environment as the third teacher. Everything accessible at child's level. What are children role over there? In STEAM, they follow instructions, reproduces whatever the procedure is there, whatever I am going to show to the children, that this is how we have to go ahead. But when it is Reggio inspired, child as researcher, initiate ideas, collaborates and iterates. What is our role? As an instructor and evaluators of correct answer in STEAM. But in Reggio, we document whatever the children are thinking, okay? And then we ask a provoking question to them. Assessment. In STEAM, we have assessment, we ask questions, we give tasks to check the children are performing well as per our expectation. But in Reggio, we always do documentation, no examination, no assessment, no giving, saying anything to the child or labeling them. Just we document what children are performing. Last but not the least, the learning focus in STEAM is always the correct solution, that why I'm teaching children. But when it is Reggio inspired, it is always going to be process, not product. Please remember, it is a process, creativity, collaboration, and critical thinking. So most of my dear educators have shared that what is Reggio. Yes, the result of Reggio is always creativity, collaboration, and critical thinking. So this is the major difference when I'm purely using traditional STEAM and when I am blending it with Reggio and STEAM. So where we have talked about the environment as our third teacher. Moving ahead, the most important and one of my favorite subject, 100 languages. Now in Reggio Emilia, 100 languages means the highest form of research. Elegantly said by Albert Einstein that it is the highest form of research, and here it's a metaphor actually used where children express through verbal and non-verbal way their expressions. So again, I'm sharing one example. If we want to teach our children about parts of plant, so it's not that we are going to just show them the diagram, that this is the diagram, this is flower, this is stem, this is root. What you are going to do, because you are blending Reggio with STEAM right now, so you can bring some plants with roots, some pots, you can have clays, dry leaf, various things that is related to the curriculum. Again, placing them at the child's level. What you are going to observe? Some children are going to dissect the plants, because my today's essential question is that I want to teach my children parts of plant. Okay, so some children are going to pick the plants, they are going to dissect that, and they are going to observe in the microscope that, oh, how the leaf looks like, how the flower looks like. Okay, one set of children with magnifying glass. Some children, they are going to do art. Already, as you have seen, teacher have drawn a tree on the wall. So children, they have correlated, they are pasting the leaves, different types of leaves. Some children may take crayons and they will start tracing that, right? Again, art is happening. Now here, math is happening in the last picture. As you're able to see, some children are colors. leaf colors. Some children might be placing the leaves as per their sizes. So math, engineering, science, here what is happening in all the processes? Children are learning as per their understanding, and they all are learning science, but what makes sense to them. Okay, so every child is learning in their own pace, but what is attracting them? So for some, dissection attracted, for some, art attracted, for some, math attracted. So at the end, what was I want to teach my children? I want to teach them about botany, that is parts of plant. Children, all of them have explored that, but in their own ways. So again, this is a wonderful example of 100 languages of STEAM. So here we can say that children can, any subject whichever you want to teach to your child, children can communicate through math, science, thinking, through their arts. Okay, and art is a very important, art plays a very important role for our children to learn rather than giving them worksheets. Teachers, yes, now as a teacher. So I want to ask you a question right now. As a teacher, what do you think? What are our role as a teacher? What is your role? Where you think where you are? I am waiting for your beautiful answers in the chat box. Learning situation, we are observation, facilitation, facilitate their interest. Lovely, Sonia ma'am. Indrajit Kaur ma'am says observer. Yes, teacher as a researcher. Facilitators. Facilitators. Fantastic. Yes. We teachers are co-learners, means we are willing to learn to upgrade ourselves. This mindset we are having, we are guide, facilitators, observers, and learners as well. Yes, fantastic, Meenakshi ma'am. Yeah. Okay. Chandni ma'am, again, facilitators. Yes. So, yeah, we all are facilitators. We are co-learners. Our role now in Reggio. When I'm saying Reggio with STEAM. Now, I just read a question that the concept is not clear. Today, we are not talking about the core philosophy of Reggio Emilia. We are talking about Reggio with STEAM inspired blending. I'm just sharing examples so that how beautifully you can uplift the Reggio Emilia curriculum. How much you can use best in your classroom by blending method. Now, what is our role? In this case, we are observer, we are provokers, and we are documentators. Now, how? Let me give you an example. Now here, if I want to teach children about water cycle. So when I want to teach children about water cycle, I know that children love puddling. Okay, so I cannot take children every day out and let's have water play or puddling activities. That is one part. Once or a while, we can go ahead in a week. But apart from that, I can give children different activities where children learn about the different forms of water. So for that, I have just taken a beautiful example, which recently, last month only, we have conducted in one of the school, where we gave children ice, salt, and warm water. What we observed, some children used salt and ice. Okay. So children have explored that part. Some children have explored lukewarm water, pouring them on the ice. So we observe that also. So as a teacher, we should never get into that. We should always observe that what children are doing. Okay. When you have observed, then you can ask a provoking question to the child. Now here, the provoking question like that, what do you think, what is happening when you have placed ice, salt on the ice? I want to share the real dialogue by one of the child. One child shared that, teacher, that miss, ice, salt is eating the ice. So see, immediately teacher documented and she shared with all of us. That's such a beautiful answer where children are conceptualizing the chemistry in their classroom. That salt is eating the ice. Now see, She first observed that how many children are doing what. Then she asked a provoking question, and immediately she documented that what children are coming up with. So our role as an observer, provokers, and documentators to document. When we say facilitators means here we should focus on all these three parts, that we are observers, we are provokers, and we are documentators. So this was a role of a teacher when we are in our classroom with a blended approach. Now, laying the foundation for lifelong success when we are saying, so I just want that whatever the curriculum you are following in your classroom, it should always be play-based and use STEAM. Means it can be science-based, technology-based, engineering, but it must have arts in your activity, and last, math. Why? Because your children are going to learn and adapt challenges, and they will get ready for this future. Okay, because STEAM says that the children are ready for the future. Real world problems must be solved through the activities, whichever curriculum you are following. Last but not the least, as a teacher, we should always provide lots of information to our children and take it back in terms of provoking questions from that. Inquiry, always have open-ended question. Never ask yes or no question to your child. Always have open-ended so that they come up with their dialogues and you just jot down that what children are understanding from that concept. Now, effective strategies for early childhood educators, I want to share with you my strategy one. Keep your curriculum child-centric approach must be there for your curriculum. And I really appreciate Reggio Emilia for that, because very flexible as per the children, because we all are dealing with now generation beta, right? Earlier, there was alpha generation. Our teachers are now Gen Z are there, right? So here, today, the beta generation must use child-centric approach because children are changing. We have to adapt as per them. Second strategy, as a teacher, I am also an early childhood educator, trainer, and curriculum developer. But I believe that we should always work on ourselves, because as the scenario is changing, we should adapt many technologies, many philosophies, so that we serve best to our children. Last but not the least, we should create a safe and stimulating learning environment for our children. Thank you so much. Hope the session was very informative for all of you. And you have learned from various examples and how you can execute that in your classroom. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sonal. I think that was fabulous. I learned a lot about STEAM. I never have experienced STEAM in all my life, neither my kids have. But I think what I found very, very interesting is the flexibility what Reggio gives of adapting with generation changing. We never had access to internet. We never knew what was Google, and then that Google evolved. Now it's AI ka zamana, what we call. People, all the kids have all the information on touch of their fingers. But I think what we are inculcating in the early years is going to stay rest of their life for them. So thank you so much for that insightful information. And we'll continue with the presentation. Couple of more slides to go. I'll try to keep it as short as possible. I understand you had a long, hectic day. Teachers are really, really, hardworking people managing. We ourselves get tired managing one kid, two kid at home, but managing so many kids with so much of questions, and parents having their own kind of apprehensions. That's too much to take for. Right. So after we saw just a glimpse of what, because it's practically impossible to actually cover the entire STEAM and how Reggio is blended into this. So a few of the questions that is there in the chat box, I will address them positively towards the end of the call. Before, what we have for you today is what you need to understand. So if you like Reggio, okay, if you understand and you want to really, really spend some good quality time understanding more in this detail, what we have presented is we made a short 5 hours of a self-professional development course. Now, this course is designed by all experts based out of, across the globe, well-researched, well-backed up with tons and tons of years of experience into education and early childhood education both. They have developed this professional development course for 5 hours. It is asynchronized. What it means is there are pre-recorded videos. So you always have the leverage, or I would say the freedom, whenever you want, you're available, whenever time permits you, you can download or you cannot download them, but you can, of course, you can watch them. Every lesson or every plan that you kind of complete, it's followed by a small questionnaire, followed by a certificate. Now, what it actually holds for you, of course, apart from the knowledge that you get, so there are 5 topics that we are covering in this 5 hours of depth professional development course. One is history of Reggio Emilia approach. Second is the image of the child. The third is the environment as a third teacher. Fourth is documentation, and fifth is community and collaboration. I can vouch on this particular course because all the teachers, especially based out of India or globally for that matter, who are associated with us, they always come back and thank us. It's very difficult to summarize the entire concept into a 5 hours of knowledge, but we have tried every possible information to give you, to make sure that you have the exact download what we want to kind of pass it on. Now, this is a certified course. So if you see on my screen on the right hand side top, it shows the certificate of professional development. So you will have, once you complete the questionnaire, once you complete those particular answers that you give, and based on that, you will get a certificate of professional development. Now, this is not part of what certification or participations for the certificate we are talking about, but this is something that you can pursue to know more about Reggio. Moving on, the most, I would say, hero of the hour, the exclusive offer that we have designed for all the educators. I always know that in all the, one of my friends used to say that if I do my PhD, I have a doctor. If I am, doing a lawyer, I get an LLB. But teachers who are actually building and spending their entire life building those professions, building those future, that kids, they never had a tag, because still we call them sir and ma'am, and with an utmost, I would say, respect what we have. So you learning, your curiosity to learn more, staying in trend, and what Sonal correctly said, upgrading yourself with time, make sure that we are not falling behind. This is what actually shows that you have all the reasons to actually go for this. So this is an exclusive offer that we have just kind of kept it particularly only for this particular webinar. So the discount coupon, so the actual price of this particular 5 hours synchronized session is 4774, so 4,774. But we have a discount that we have aligned, which comes to at 3,820 rupees. Now, if you would like to enable it, you have the scanner at the site. As soon as you scan it, I'll tell you what you're supposed to do. So the first step, as soon as you scan in, it will land up to you on step 2, which is enroll now. Please do pay attention of completing this. It'll make your life easier. Please pay attention, listen to me what exactly has to be done, and then you can try it on your own. So all the participants who are joining in, the code is webinar 18. Just remember this, webinar, because you're joining in today's 18th of March. So that's 18. What you do is, once you actually go ahead and click on enroll now, it will take you the page, what it shows here. This is the sign up page. Then what you do is click on the sign up. Please be careful of the email address that you're using. I have people coming back to me that they have used an email address that they have never accessed. I have people coming back to me and telling me the email address that I've used, the inbox is full. So please do not, just to make sure that you're using an active email address, any of your email addresses that you can use to sign up, because that is the email address that you will get all the WeSkoolhouse communication, your activation, your confirmation, your receipt, everything in there. So as soon as you complete the sign up process, the basic details that you're expected to fill in, your name, your email address, I think country also it asks for, and then it takes you to the next page, which is the payment page. And there you will have an option which says apply coupon. As soon as you apply the coupon, which is webinar 18, then you should be able to make the payment and get the discount. Anybody who is, this is part of your courses. We'll come back to that. I'll keep on flashing that so you can just complete it. anybody who's interested to actually look in depth of what Reggio curriculum is all about. So we provide a curriculum which is 100% aligned and in sync with what Reggio philosophy is all about. It's a 365 days of a curriculum that you get. So if you're a preschooler, you're planning to start a preschool, you're planning to start a daycare. If you're a parent who are homeschooling your child, this curriculum is meant for you. So you can actually, kind of scan this QR code. You'll ask for to fill up the form, and then we will have a candid one-on-one conversation. I'll take you a tour of, because that's impossible to cover it in an hour's time, and then we would be able to complete it. All the people who have stayed back and spared your precious time with us this evening, you're going to get a participation certificate. This is how the certificate would look like, which will say powered by WeSkoolhouse. And this is becoming a certified Reggio Emilia teacher. This is the certificate that you would be expecting. Please note, it will take 24 working hours for us to go ahead and dispatch the certificate on your registered email address. What you're supposed to do is you can scan in this particular scanner. You can use the same scanner and we would be able to register for the certificate as well. All right, now I'll open the floor for questions. I'll just keep this on and just a moment. Okay. There you go. Right. So we can start with the Q&A. Now the floor is open. Although we have overshot the time, we are at 6:56. I'd really appreciate for all you being so patient with us and listening to the entire bit. And yes, where to register for the certificate? You can use the same scanner. Or my colleague will share the link or has already shared the link on the chat box. Please do fill out that link for your certification. The link is actually pasted on the chat box. Use that link, fill out the details, and you should be able to get your certificate. Now, answering to the questions. What does Reggio means? Amanpreet, thank you. I think that's the, I would say, best question that we have come. So Reggio is a philosophy. So the way we actually teach the different methods and processes, how we teach our child, we can teach our child at home as well. So that would be something which homeschooling, what we call. I can use any of the pedagogies which has been, kind of used worldwide, globally. Every country has their own methods and ways what they teach. And now NEP has come up with their own curriculum for early childhood. Reggio is one of the process of how we are teaching and how we are actually nurturing and shaping up the future for a kid. Now, going back to, I'm just scrolling up, just a moment in here. How is it different from Waldorf or Montessori? All right. So we did share the comparison, Sonia, but how would you differentiate? Mainly what I will say in one word, because yeah, please unmute yourself and you can ask your questions also. So the option has been enabled. So answering to your question, Sonia, how it is different from Waldorf Montessori? Of course, Sonal will have a very, very vast question, but just keeping the time in mind, the simple method, or in one-liner, I can tell you, out of all the pedagogies or the philosophies which is available globally, Reggio is the only one which is absolutely open-ended till date. It is actually invented after World War II, when everything kind of wiped up. That was the time this entire concept was invented by Loris Mariguzzi. However, this is the only one which is very, very open-ended and always have a scope of improvisation, because we have not designed it as per the teachers, but we have designed it keeping a child's creativity. You give anything to a child, they can make, beautiful things out of nothing. That is what Reggio is all about, and that is what we are focused on this entire session. And there are different type of tweaking and blending that we have kept on doing. So STEAM being one of them, 100 languages. These are all the concepts that Reggio heavily promotes to make sure that we are doing amazing open-ended curriculum, pursuing that, keeping in mind of blending of whatever is in trend. So if you are looking for your very own certification, you can click on the link, which is there on that. Thank you. Welcome, Sonia. Let me just scroll up. There are tons of questions in here. Assessment means, okay. I think Sonal, you might have to answer this. The question is, Sushma has asked, assessments means to help them in a current learning situation. So we can immediately guide them if they didn't get them properly. or they misunderstood the concept. According to the Reggio, we should not guide them. Please clear it, as it is also a structured method.
See, Reggio, we never guide the children. As I said, that you are observer. So you are going to observe what children are performing there. And you are going to ask a provoking question, that what was my essential question? Why I have started this activity? Just you need to throw that provoking question to the child so that the child start thinking on that way. Right? So here you are not going to guide them that this is the way, now you're going to do this. Let us take an example of that ramp. That's why I have shared examples with you. So when a car ramp was there, I have why the car is going so fast. Right? So child might think that I have to put something or I have to reduce the height of that ramp. So they might remove the blocks. The stiffness inclination can be changed. Right? So here you have to ask the provoking question over there. And at the end, why it is crashing? So children might put some material, sand. That's why I knew that what things could be required over there. So as per the child level, I have placed some sand tray. I shared with you that I have placed different materials over there. So children can pick that. They can experiment that. And they will come to the solution. It's not that always they will come to the solution. In Reggio, we never expect that they should come to the solution. But as a teacher, ask provoking question. Let them think, not on the very day, but after repeating that activity, one day the child will come to that solution by themselves without our intervention over there.
Wow, okay, that's really nice. I would like to just pause for a moment and share my screen. So one of the teachers who is part of this particular call has shared this picture with us. Just a moment. Just give me a second. So somebody who is already practicing Reggio, and look at the stuff. It is amazing. I think Priyanka, would you like to add some information in there? So this is teachers, all the people who are part of this call, do see what exactly she has done. It's amazing. It's amazing. And I see most of the crafts are done by, let me just yeah, hopefully you can see this. I think there are a lot of bottles in here, cartoons, drawings. It's amazing. It's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that. Thank you so much for sharing it with us. It looks absolutely fabulous. And trust me, these are the things which is easily seen and practiced and witnessed in a Reggio-based schools. Thank you so much for sharing that, Priyanka. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I would really like to congratulate her because you have got the essence. Reggio says that we should always motivate children. When you are going to place their work, they feel praised. Oh, my work is placed. Whatever type of work it is, it's a process learning, right? So children get motivated and they come up with different exploration next time. They share lots of other things, and that is really good, commendable. Thank you so much, Priyanka, for sharing that.
Thank you. Right. So I've just kind of displayed because a lot of people are asking questions. And please do remember, we do not have a lot of slots that we have opened. We have just kept it to, 20, teachers early sign off. This is an early bird prize that we have specially launched and designed for today's webinar. So if you want to enable the discounted price at 3,820, please do scan that and fill out the process. If you have any difficulty signing up, if you are not able to, process your email address or add your payment details, please, you can just leave your phone number, your email addresses, and we will just go up to 20, not more than that. I would like to ask my colleague, Ayan, if you can say how many registrations has been done so far, because we really don't have a lot of slots in there for the discounted prices.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes, so far we are having 11.
All right. All right. Okay. So 11 registrations are already over, teachers. If you would like to, kind of take a pause and just complete this process. So again, coming back to and reiterating what I have said is there is a two-parter. One is the training and one is the curriculum. So if you're looking, say, for example, if you're a teacher, you're just looking to upskill yourself and add a certificate and a lot of value to what Reggio is all about, this is meant for you. But if you're say a school owner, you are looking to start your own school, if you're looking for starting your daycare, the curriculum is meant for age group of 0 to 6. 8 hours of curriculum, the entire, that's how it has been designed, for 8 hours of activities, and how typically the day looks like on a day-to-day basis on operational cases in a classroom. That's all about curriculum. So we have the framework and everything for that. But if you're looking for a certification, if you're looking for upgrading yourself, your current knowledge, your current exposure to Reggio, this is what you're supposed to register. So if you have any difficulty, please do ping. I cannot see the chat box yet. And this should be the typical process wherein we should be able to go to step 1 is, scan and QR the link in the chat. You will land up on Get Reggio Emilia Certified landing page. That's the website that you will land up on. And then you go to step 3, wherein you're supposed to sign up using your respective email address, which is an active email address. And then you can go to the step 4, which is making the payment. You can use a GPay, Google Pay, Razorpay. I'm not really sure what are the payment methods. You can use a card, net banking, anything what is available, because Razorpay is pretty much have everything as an option in here. Once you do that, then you would be, as soon as you complete the payment process, an email would be triggered on your registered email address. Thank you for registering with WeSkoolhouse asynchronized training, and it'll give you the step-by-step process. Now, just to give you an insight, this entire this is a lifetime certification, or it's a lifetime, I would say, access that you create for yourself. Apart from that, WeSkoolhouse does a lot of webinars, a lot of podcasts, a lot of, and you'll be surprised that I have people who have come back to me and say that, I've been following WeSkoolhouse since last 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, and they love what they teach and what the concepts. And typically people who have, spent their entire life researching on what is best for kids, starting from food to, toileting to, their daily routine nature, not only restricting to the academics part, but they do a lot of research in that. And small differences and small changes and tweaking on their daily routine, it actually gives you an amazing results. So I'll just go back to the question and answer and continue answering that. If you have any more questions, feel free to unmute yourself, ask questions, talk to us. Would love to talk to you. And obviously, we would like to address if you have any questions, if you have any queries that you would like to have, any feedback, suggestions are also equally welcome. So if anything is what you're looking, for that next month, you want to be a part of the Notable training. And if you want to see something, you want us to work on certain thing, which is that has been a pain area for you, and we'll try, we don't promise, but we'll try to address that as much as possible. So yes. Still, the floor is open. Please unmute yourself if you have any questions in here.
Good evening. Yeah,
Yes,
sorry.
Yes, Rohini, you can go first. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I just got interested into this team activity. For the example that was shown, I just wanted to understand, there's a question that is already given that, the child has to explore this particular question in this activity. Is it given before that, or is it the choice of the teacher that what is the question that she's trying to, make the child do with that activity?
First, when we are talking about STEAM, one essential question that why I'm doing this activity must be ready with you. Okay. Now, as per the child is performing the activity, what you want the child, okay, what is expected from the child depends on that. The provoking question will be there. Right. It's not fixed, because some children will perform in some other way, some will perform in some other way. So for different situation, different question will be there. Okay, so this is done by the teacher. The teacher herself will frame the question. Okay. Yes, you have to frame the question as per the situation. Okay, great. Thank you. Just wanted a little clarification there. Thank you. Pleasure.
But just adding into that, Rohini, what I witnessed in the entire WeSkoolhouse platform, in continuation of all the activities that they have designed it, they have kept a prompt, scope, and a focus. These are the 3 areas that they'll keep on addressing. Is what is the, what's the outcome that you are looking for? What is the expected desired outcome that you can expect if you're doing in this particular way, fashion that Reggio has designed? And it actually will give you a hint also what is the outcome that you can expect. So that's there. But yes, of course, you being on the driving seat, you can actually drive the entire show how you want to actually do that. Thank you so much for that lovely question. Yes, Amanpreet, you had a question.
Evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Ma'am, I'm just interested in this course and want to buy it, but right now I was just busy in state exam. So can I just buy after a few days?
You can, of course, buy any given point of time. However, you won't be able to enable the discounted price. That's only for today. We just opened 20 slots. So, I mean, of course, what you can do is you can complete the process and then you can pursue it whenever you're available. So, because it has a lifetime validity, it never expires.
Okay. And ma'am, what is included in this course?
So that would be 5 hours of asynchronized videos, completing from history to, child centric, all the information that I just kind of showed it. So all 5-parter lessons would be completed. After each lesson is completed, you have to go through a questionnaire where you're supposed to answer certain questions to make sure that you got the concept right. And you will get a certificate as well. You'll get a soft copy of the certificate, which you can retain as your learning for the rest of your life.
Like, ma'am, I'm a senior secondary teacher, so it is designed for small children, or any teacher can just adopt this.
Okay, so all right, Pushpanjali, I'll definitely get in touch with you. So to answer your question, this is precisely meant for early years. So depending on if you're able to cater, especially from the age group of 0 to 6, that's the early years that we have. And the entire design of the videos, the understanding, the approach is based on that age group. So if you are catering to those years, which is anywhere between 0 to 6, it's meant for you. Or if you're, say you're a lecturer, you're a professor, it would be not very much what would be aligned what you want to reach. But again, if you're just looking to upskill yourself and you want to get more information and knowledge, because knowledge never goes waste, and any kind of knowledge, especially into the education sector, that's a treasure. That's what we have, all of us. Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. All right. So I think Pushpanjali, you have registered, attended the course, but you watched the video, but you also could not download. I would love to connect you. Do you have my number, Pushpanjali? You can give me a thumbs up. I will connect you. I'm not sure why I mean, was there a technical glitch that you were not able to download, or you were not able to complete the video? Pushpanjali, if you can hear me. Okay, so that's a no. All right. Okay. I'll get in touch with you. Hope you've just filled out the form. Any which ways I'll get in touch with the people who've just filled out the form. All right, so next question, Meenakshi, I would like to know whether this Reggio course is internationally recognized. Will it be accepted globally, and does it hold value worldwide if I choose to purchase it? Okay, so Reggio is a global concept. This particular certificate that you get after completion, it is recognized and accepted, I would say worldwide, because this is from WeSkoolhouse. Now, if somebody is looking, say, for example, if you're looking to apply in an international school, they might have a question, where is WeSkoolhouse? What is WeSkoolhouse? They might not know WeSkoolhouse, but they definitely know what's Reggio Emilia. So yes, it is worldwide accepted. To answer your question, if you choose to purchase, yes, please. All right, thank you so much, Amanpreet, for those kind words. Thank you. We'll just take the last question for the evening. We are already overshot the time. And I love people coming with such questions and engagement. Right. So last question of the evening, please. Let me scroll through. Is it accepted in IB school? It depends, Khyati, actually. What is kind of recognition, what you mean. So obviously it adds value, weightage to your current resume. Right? If you're Reggio, it is not 100% Reggio certified. It is just a concept. The concept is the lessons that is specified. So when you actually, I'll just quickly share once again to make sure that we are all on the same page. Just a moment. So the concepts which is clearing is, just give me a second in here. All right, no, I've shared a wrong screen. Give me a moment. So coming back, no, just a moment. I'll just share exactly what all the 5 concepts that you actually get to learn. Here you go. Yeah. Hope you can see my screen now. So this 5 5 hours of asynchronous training is a combination of these 5 topics. So the first lesson would be on history of Reggio. The second would be the image of a child, which is these are all typical Reggio concepts. So the image of a child in perspective to Reggio, the environment as a third teacher as in perspective to Reggio, documentation, and then you have the community and collaboration. So these are all Reggio aligned. If you see at the bottom of my screen, these are the 5 topics. These are the 5 hours of in-depth professional development course that you will learn. So after you complete it, you can confidently say and talk about publicly what is the environment as a third teacher as per Reggio and what is the documentation. And trust me, even if you are not using Reggio on your regular classes or in a professional life or the school that you're associated with, it holds a lot of value. It, irrespective of you're an IB, IGCSE, you're a state board teacher, you're running your own preschool with certain kind of, say, franchising, doesn't matter. This actually gives you a different new perspective to look at a child, their expression, their, and the approach is pretty, I would say, very progressive. Not all, I'll be honest, not all parents, not all teachers would be grasp this, because it is not pretty much what we have been doing for traditionally over the period of time. Rote learning being one of them. I would say partially Montessori is pretty much aligned with them. So you might not be, I would say, aligned at the first place, but gradually once you actually use it on your regular life, and then you should be able to see and witness the changes in the child. I can guarantee on that you can see a significant changes in the child's behavior, approach on a daily basis in the classroom. Okay, thank you so much, Kathy. Is there an exams included in this course? Yes, someone previous exams are included. At the end of the course, ma'am, do I need to submit the assessment? Yes, of course. The process and the step-by-step explanation is there. You're supposed to complete it and submit those assessments, then you should be able to good to go. All right. If we enroll to the course, what material apart from videos we'll get? No, you will not get any other materials. So the videos are not downloadable. That's an IP. It's an intellectual property of WeSkoolhouse. So you won't be able to download, but of course you're free to watch those videos any point of the time. All you have to do is just log in, signing in your username, password. You can see them, witness them, refresh your memories. Absolutely. And by the time you're actually completing, you can start making notes for yourself as hand notes. Apart from that, Anshu has a question. Okay. So if it's convenient, I would appreciate it if you could share the key parameters of the interview process that leave a strong, lasting impression on interviewers. All right. That's a question. I really don't know how to answer that. So Anshu, you go. If you can unmute and just give me a little bit of perspective to your question, because I'm a little confused in here. Next question is, if you enroll for the course, what we answered that. So Anshu, if you're there and you can hear me, if you're comfortable, you can unmute yourself and ask the question. If you are not in a position, then you can put it in the chat box. Okay, as I said, it adds some weight to the CV. Of course. Any knowledge does not go waste, regardless wherever you're picking it from. Or that can be through a podcast, that can be through your Instagram reels, or that can be your research, your books, anything. Now, in this case, we have designed asynchronous videos with a lot of information. And of course, the way I meant to, it will add weightage is, of course, your knowledge and the recognition, the certificate. That will add a lot of value and weightage to your CV, if I'm able to answer your question. All right, so we have to wrap it up. We have overshot the time by 18 minutes, and I'm really, I would say grateful to all of you being a part of this evening, making it an immense success. Thank you so much. We really appreciate that. If you have any questions, you can always write to us. You will receive emails from us. If you have anything as a feedback, suggestions, if what kind of more, no, Shamla, unfortunately, no, you will not get the recording. Yes, if I'm not wrong, concepts should be clear to the kids after introduce the Reggio concepts of teaching. Of course. It should be first of all, you should have a clarity of what you want to teach and what is the outcome that you're expecting out of classes. Once you are able to have that clarity, then I think you should be able to translate the exact understanding of, translating it to your respective students. All right, Nidhi, I'll share the link. Thank you so much, teachers. Thank you so much, Sonal. Thank you, Ayan. Thank you, Vivek, for making it such an amazing, informative, insightful, I would say, tons of, suggestions, feedbacks, a different perspective of people coming across. It's wonderful to see that. Thank you so much, teachers, for being a part of this. Thank you, Anshu. I'll just share the link one more time. Give me 1 second.
You want to know about your body, you can definitely register for the course. However, yes, there is a scope of practice that I want everyone to understand.
Yes, Gurpreet, you would like to share something? All right, just a moment. Let me just share the link. 1 second. If you can fill out the form in here, you can just kind of, yeah. So just kind of pasted it, message to everyone. Here you go. So I've just pasted the link of the form wherein you can fill it out and you can enable your participation certificate. I've enrolled myself, but would like to know in case if any problems get ahead. Yes, of course. Thank you so much, Rohini. Thank you so much for asking that question. Let me quickly put my phone number in there. So anybody, anything, have any questions, anything that you would like to know, any difficulty, you are always welcome to connect with me directly. I take care of WeSkoolhouse expansion, business development, sales, after sales, any kind of queries that you have related to WeSkoolhouse. Feel free to reach out to me at any given point of time. I've left my phone number in here. You can save it. My name is Malavika. Just to repeat that, you can always get in touch with me if you have any questions and anything that you would like to know, or if you have any difficulty signing up and completing it. Thank you so much. Wrapping for this evening. Thank you, Sonal. And we'll meet shortly soon in month of April with a new concept to make sure that we're able to translate that to all the wonderful educators in here. Thank you so much. Have a lovely evening, all of you. Thank you. And happy, I think, Ugadi for tomorrow and Eid Mubarak in advance. Thank you. Signing off for the evening. Bye-bye.